Most of those countries now are already attacked and invaded. And they said that to bring about that process of transformation, these attacks on all these countries and the takeover, the process of transformation is likely to be a long one, absent some catastrophic and catalyzing event like a new Pearl Harbor. 1 year to the month, 9/11. What happened? That was used as the excuse to invade those bloody countries. And this is a guy called General Wesley Clark. In a television interview in 2007, he described what happened to him immediately after 9/11. He was in the Pentagon, and one of the generals told him that they were going to attack Iraq, and it was a collaboration between the government and the Project for the New American Century. They were going to invade Iraq. A few weeks later, in fact 6, he went back, and he said to the same general, why haven't we invaded Iraq? What's going on? And this is what he quoted the guy as saying. Sir, it's worse than that. The officer pulled up a piece of paper off his desk and said, I just got this memo from the Secretary of Defense's office. It says we're going to attack and destroy the governments in 7 countries in 5 years. We're going to start with Iraq, and then we're going to move to Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Iran. The plot, aim of the plot was they wanted to destabilize the Middle East, turn it upside down, and make it under our control. So to hide that, they had to make excuses. So Afghanistan, 9/11. Iraq, weapons of mass destruction, never existed. Libya, he's killing his own people. Actually, he's responding to the rebels that you have funded, armed, and trained to shoot at him. And then what we'll do is we'll move those rebels over to Syria, and we'll say he's killing his own people. And so we have the perception deception to hide all that. It's a movie. And the perception deception is so profound that the inversion can be believed by the mass of the population. These are the countries attacked by bombing, sabotage, or attempted government overthrow since World War II. Iran, nil. America. Public perception, Iran, dangerous. America, savior, good guy. There you go. Each of the 45 black dots is a US military base around Iran, but Iran is the one threatening the US. Perception deception. It's not a matter of what is true that counts, but what is perceived to be true. And this is what they are targeting. People like Zbigniew Brzezinski, Jimmy Carter's former National Security Advisor, who was one of the creators of the Trilateral Commission in that network with the Club of Rome and the Bilderberg Group. He said in a book a long time ago, if you want to know what they want, read Brzezinski's books, that this is the target area, what they call Eurasia. Because if you control that, you control the world. And what we're seeing, whether it's Ukraine or all these countries around here, they're all related to Eurasia and the takeover of Eurasia. Now, Albert Pike, who was an up there bloody mega Freemason in America in the 19th century, one of the co-creators of the Ku Klux Klan, nice man, he wrote a letter. Some people say it's a fake, except it's turning out to be incredibly prophetic. A letter to another network Illuminati, as they call it, operative called Giuseppe Mazzini in, I think it was 1871. And he talked about 3 world wars. He described the First World War, happened, described the Second World War and how that would lead to the creation of what he called political Zionism, Israel. And then he talked about a Third World War, which would, as he said, take advantage of the differences caused by the agenteur agents of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world. This Third World War was designed to come out of the Middle East. And Albert Pike said that at the time of the Third World War, they would unleash the nihilists. A nihilist, one definition of nihilist is someone who rejects all theories of morality, which of course fits ISIS, ISIL, whatever they're called today, made in America, made in Israel, and to a large extent made in the UK. They're the same bunch. They started out as Al-Qaeda, which was created as Robin Cook, the former British Foreign Secretary, before he died, very soon before he died, pointed out that Al-Qaeda was actually the creation of the CIA. Al-Qaeda means the base or the database, because it was the database of Mujahideen fighters in Afghanistan, which they got together to fight the Russians in Afghanistan. And it's gone through a series of changes from ISIS, ISIL, Islamic State, trained, funded, and armed by these people to be the enemy that justifies the further invasion and control of the Middle East. This is the process: hidden hand, Pentagon, CIA, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, ISIL, Islamic State. CIA is training ISIS while claiming to be combating ISIS, former CIA contractor. The evidence for this is overwhelming and coming out more and more all the time. They've trained these people, they've armed these people, and a lot of the time in Jordan, to create this frickin' mayhem problem to which they can offer their solution, which is what they're doing now, and it's nothing like what they want to do. This is why you find terrorist leaders inside the US aid tents in these countries. This is why you find John Rothschild go for McCain with these people they call terrorists in these countries like Syria. And this is al-Baghdadi. He is the supreme leader of ISIS, and he's the supreme leader of the world. I think you're a very naughty boy myself. ISIS joke fraud. I'm the mysteriously elusive one because you mustn't know who I really am. And look, he's got the watch. Flash frickin' watch. Nice man from CIA. Hey! Wardrobe! Continuity, what are you bloody doing? You left a frickin' watch on, they'll see it. There you go, he got a good number though. There you go, he made a few quid there. It's a frickin' joke. It's a joke. I'm not saying this is true, but some people are suggesting that actually al-Baghdadi is this guy, Simon Elliott, or Elliot Shimon, a Mossad agent, and he's been seen, this guy, with McCain, which doesn't surprise you. And, you know, people might find that far-fetched. Why would they put somebody in to do that? Because they're creating an illusion. And this is Adam Gardan. The FBI announced he was an Islamic terrorist that we all should be afraid of. Ooh. But who did he turn out to be? He turned out to be Adam Perlman, grandson of the former head of the Rothschild-created Anti-Defamation League. It's all an illusion. You ought to just put on an Arab hat and they think you're Arabic. And this lady, she's got 2 bullshit bloody detectors she has. She could have 4. This is this lady, Rita Katz, who claims that she found one of the beheading videos on the internet. Well, how frickin' lucky. This is an organization, SITE, I call it SHITE, I think it's accurate, SITE, Search for International Terrorist Entities, that was putting out bin Laden videos long after he bloody died in 2001. And she is an Israeli Mossad front person, and so's SITE. And it's all part of the propaganda. And this stuff is fake. I am not saying for a second that these people weren't killed. I don't know that. I wouldn't dream of saying that because I don't know that. But for sure, these beheading videos are a freaking fake. And when this was pointed out with the first one by the alternative media, suddenly video experts in the mainstream were coming out and saying the same because it was so freaking obvious. And the idea is to create maximum horror, so therefore maximum effect, because the more we are horrified, the more we will support what they want to do in the Middle East to protect us from the enemy they have created. This is the mind game. I don't want another war, but we can't stand back and let Islamic State do what it's all about. And then there's these people. They've been radicalized. They've been vegetabilized from where I'm looking. They're going out, oh, Islamic State and all that stuff. They've been played like a violin. And they are like cyborgs, what you would call transhuman. And that's what transhumanism is all about, as I'll come to. They're changing the atmosphere. HAARP can virtually lift part of the atmosphere. You can make it move, do things, one of the creators said. And so what they're doing is they are changing the energy sea into an atmosphere and an information environment which suits them and further represses humans' ability to expand consciousness into the wider awareness. They're filling the atmosphere. This is what Fukushima was about. No way that was a freaking accident if people look at the look at the evidence. Look, this is the smokestack from a small nuclear explosion. This is the smokestack from the explosion at Fukushima. It was created to release phenomenal, staggering amounts of radiation because they're changing the atmosphere. And who created nuclear power? I know for a fact, almost from the horse's mouth, the Rothschilds. So they're changing the atmosphere into the Archon world more and more. Do you know that the technological radiation in our atmosphere now, we're living in, is millions and millions and millions of times what it was 50 years ago. They're also, through that same situation, changing the frequency within this atmosphere between the ionosphere down to the surface. This is why all these whales and dolphins are beaching themselves. Their radar's changing. They've lost their sense of direction because the way the energy field is changing. They're creating this sub-reality. And it's a technologically generated one, and they want to create this reality technologically between the ionosphere and this surface where we live. And chemtrails are part of that because it is a medium for delivering what they want. So they're hacking the hack and taking us to another level. They're trying to take us to another level distant from awakened infinite consciousness. Because you can have that situation, but if you take this technological level further forward, it's even more challenging to access infinite awareness from this reality. People say, why would they destroy their own planet? We're living on a planet as if we had another one to go to. Well, what if this planet don't suit them in terms of its atmosphere and its frequency, and so they're changing it to make it like home? That's what we're frickin' seeing. And this is what transhumanism is all about. Transhumanism is about putting bits of technological kit into your body so you interact with technology. The idea is the technology then becomes your master and it becomes your sense of everything. You become a slave of the technology. I've been talking for years, as people who've gone through these years with me will know, about the microchip agenda, and now they're openly talking about the microchip. This is an electronic tattoo. It's one of the stepping stones to it. New medical microchips to be implanted by 2017, delivering drugs, routine birth control through wireless communications. Is choice lost? Microchips to administer drugs, replace pills. Microchips will be implanted into healthy people soon as you think. Australian man who has a microchip inserted into his hand so that he can do more with the iPhone 6. Well, I hope he sticks it up his arse, because that's where his brains are.